Friday and every Tuesday and Wednesday. We wrap with Reusse here on Mackey and Judd. And Pat, I think the masses of Minnesota sports fans would always say that you always have your finger on the pulse of how good the Vikings are going to be in any given season. You also predicted that they would slaughter the Eagles in the NFC Championship game a few years ago, I believe. But so you're not always calibrated.
It was a slaughter.
It was a slaughter.
It was just the opposite.
Well, I don't think we've really asked you this recently anyways. What is your general feeling on this upcoming Viking season now that you've observed like 3 weeks of just things? Yes,
I've observed 3 weeks of Judd's observation.
Exactly.
I would say I was brimming with optimism after their offseason moves, bringing in getting the run stoppers so teams just couldn't come in and sock them in the face and then make those mediocre cornerbacks come up and try to tackle somebody and then get the ball thrown. All those things I thought were great. And then the entire vibe from training camp has been god awful since the Friday when we found out about the small quarterback room and all these other things and a bunch of injuries. The Byron Buxton. He's the Byron Buxton of the Vikings here. This mysterious ailment that he has. I have some things going on. Is that what he said? Something like that.
Well, as long as it's not a tweak. I think he could still play this season.
The funny thing is in the NFL, they're so quick to get rid of guys, aren't they? I mean, if they disappoint them in any way, the Vikings' loyalty to this guy has amazed me because last year they gave him a bundle of money, he didn't play, but Zim loves him for some reason. I guess when he plays, he can do something. Wasn't the whole thing going to be he was going to become a pass rusher too? I mean, he was going to do that, and
yes,
he hasn't done any of that. And I don't know. I just think the vibe has been terrible to this point. That could change when they play tomorrow night and Cousins comes out and completes some passes. And is Dalvin Cook going to agree to play a few plays or not? Do we know, Judd?
We don't know on that one yet.
Okay. We like to keep him under wraps, but I mean, the weapons are there, right? The weapons are there to be very good offensively. The offensive line, of course, which we thought was completely shored up, is now got an injured Rashad Hill at left tackle and some guy we've never seen at right guard. So even when they use very high draft choices on the line, it seems like they're doomed in that area. So I don't know. I was predicting 11-6, 12-5, win the division easy over the mediocre Packers. Now I'm thinking they might be the 7th seed at 9-8, something like that.
I'm actually impressed by how quickly you've integrated the 17-game math into your equation there. I still have to pause every time I say, well, I think they're going to be 10-7. I don't know.
I told you I grew up counting by sevens, but I knew if it was 17, somebody kicked a field goal, right? They didn't kick many back then, but on the rare occasion in the NFL, they kicked field goals. So I 17 doesn't give me any problem. I learned to count by 3s and 7s as a kid, so because of football, and then of course if you saw 9, you knew they didn't kick 3 field goals, so you knew some idiot somehow missed an extra point.
Yep.
No 2-point
again, Fred Cox.
So some idiot missed an extra point. Yes. I don't know. What's your feeling? I mean, out where you, Phil? I mean, do you?
I had him. I think we've picked the schedule like 3 times this offseason. I had him at 11-6 at one point. We should actually do it again here. We haven't done it in a while. Mm-hmm. Maybe after the second preseason game, we'll learn more. We can pick the schedule again.
Okay.
I don't know. It kind of feels a little train wrecky. I'm not gonna lie. It feels a little 2010-y to me right now.
But then, my theory on sports for about the last 5 years has been, you always know what's going to happen unless it doesn't. Mm-hmm. And I'm on. Put me down for 10-7. I got them at 10-7.
Okay, well, I'm going to write that down right now.
They'll be in the playoffs, but they'll be on the road someplace playing somebody and in the playoffs. They won't get one of the 3 first weekend home games. I don't believe they'll finish in the top 4.
So Pat, my favorite new part about Zim now is prickly Zim about preseason playing time. I told you on the phone yesterday, his quote about the starters are going to play, and I told the coaches they'll come out when I tell them they're coming out. Only Zim could make preseason playing time a prickly subject with his players.
Yes, it is. And with the media, he doesn't want to give you any ammunition, because if he says, well, I think Cousins is going to play a quarter and a half, and then if he doesn't, then we're saying, why didn't he play a quarter and a half? He told us he's going to play a quarter and a half.
Yes.
But when he's mad at his team, he's also mad at the media, right?
Oh, yes.
When he's mad at his team, he's mad at the media for saying that he's mad at his team. So it's a vicious cycle with the Zim. There's no doubt about it, as far as that's concerned. But the prickly Zim is so much more fun than the occasionally happy Zim. It's
yes.
I'm praying for 2 missed field goals on Saturday night. That's what I'm praying.
Depress Zim.
A 31-yarder that a guy kicked sideways, and then then one that's just because he's so great when he's bad at the kicker. The punter, the non-vaxxed shanking punter, survived the week though, huh?
He did. Britton Colquitt. I guess they brought in a guy or two to work out, but that was just a scare tactic. Britton Colquitt.
Spielman must have scared him off doing that or something, I would guess. How about the big vax controversy in New Orleans? The Saints have announced they either have to show proof of vaccination or wear a mask, and now all this thousands of season ticket holders want their money back.
Oh, really? I saw Vegas has the same thing, but you have to be vaxxed or have proof of a test, or you can't attend because they don't want you to have to wear a mask.
Oh, well,
the Raiders are doing that.
They're the Saints. What I read was mask and proof of vaccination, or that you had a recent test that was negative. How is that going to be lining up, getting 70,000 drunk Saints fans into the Superdome? They're going to be holding up their work IDs. They're going to be holding up their.
You know what? So here's the problem with this.
If they still have one.
So I actually went to a Seattle Storm WNBA game a few weeks ago, and they required vaccination, proof of vaccination to get in the building. And so I don't know. I guess you can take a picture of your card, and that's good enough. But I mean, think about how. People forge fake IDs. How easy is it going to be just to they weren't cross referencing.
We're relying on the honesty of Americans, which is not bad.
but here's the thing.
Everybody's mad at the fair because they're not. How would the fair possibly? The only thing they could do would be a mask mandate. That's the only thing they could do because. You can tell whether somebody's wearing a mask. Anything else, they don't have the resources they'd have a lineup to Minneapolis if they were trying to check, vaccination cards and stuff. I always carry mine in my billfold. It might be smudged out by now, but it's virtually illegible now because it comes from February, right?
There's a lot of potential for Curb Your Enthusiasm moments here. Your smudged out vax card. Like the guy, the older gentleman at the gate of this arena that was checking everyone. I thought so. I just had because you get the first card and the second card if you had either Moderna or Pfizer, right? And so I just brought the second card because I figured, well, if I got the second card, the first card, it's obvious I also have the first card. So I brought the second card, and he looks at it and he goes, "All right, do you have the first card too, sir?" And I was like, "No."
I get the second one if I don't have the first. If I didn't have the first,
he almost didn't let me in. I'm like, sir. I mean, come on. There's like 4,000 people in here. Everyone's spread out. I think we're gonna be fine. I think it's fine.
Well, they just put stickers on both my cards. They gave me one card with 2 stickers, like on the top and the bottom.
I have one card too.
That's going out in Seattle
with the dates written on it. When you got them, I don't even know if it's official, but it's worked for me. Speaking of the WNBA, how about our high class coach after last night's game? Did we follow the whining Cheryl? The whining Cheryl.
You got bleeped by the officials. Come on.
Yes, we did. And she not only answered all her questions 25-10, the foul difference apparently, but she had her players doing the same thing. Now, this 2 nights ago, she told us how rotten her team was, right? She ripped everybody. And now, 2 nights later, we got robbed by the officials 2 straight games. She's unbelievable. She's one of the greatest whiners we've ever had in this town. She gets way too much credit. She still has never won without LeBron James / Maya Moore. Let's see if she can, she just had an 8-game winning streak. She is a complete phony when it comes to complaining about the officials and not taking any responsibility.
The Star Tribune might struggle when you submit that column with publishing it.
Well, I'd have to go watch another game. I just happened to turn into the end of the game when she called a timeout with 5 seconds to go, down by 11, after her team walked the ball into the front court just so she could bitch at the officials.
I love it, actually.
Bobby Knight doesn't even call a timeout with 5 seconds to go so he can bitch at the officials.
You can't take them with you. You might as well get your money's worth.
Might as well use them and whine. What a whiner she is.
I mean, WNBA officials
really
are.
Want an Olympic coach that's that big a whiner? The Bulgarian referee robbed us. We only won by 23. I could coach the women's basketball team to the Olympic gold medal, for God's sakes. It's like, ooh, yeah, who's the coach? What difference does it make? Go down to any grade school and get who's ever coaching the team and have them come and coach the Olympic team. They're going to win.
Yeah, I don't think they've lost a game in like
Never
2
lost
decades, right?
No.
Is it ever? Have they ever lost a game in the Olympics?
But Nafisa didn't play much over in Tokyo. She didn't play much. And I'm wondering if she hasn't done anything in the first 2 games at UConn. I mean, playing Connecticut. She hasn't done much. And so, I wonder if she's pouting because Cheryl didn't fight for her to get more minutes over in Tokyo or something. She's played terrible.
Reusse, Hammerhead, strife within Link's organization.
Links, yes, right. I can sense it from here in Golden Valley watching 20 seconds.
I like how you know the playing time, though. That's good.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
She didn't get any playing time over there. And McBride was the big hero before the break, and she isn't playing as much either. So she must be mad at. She the other night said one of our best players didn't show up, but they didn't tell us who.
We
didn't find out. Read the stories. Who was it? There was about 4 candidates. So hey, somebody's got to say, Cheryl, could you give us a hint who it is? Although she only answered 2 questions on Zoom last night, and they were both 25 to 10, complaining about the officials.
And that was it? And then she left?
Yeah, I guess 2-3 questions on Zoom.
She's got some Greg Popovich tendencies, which can be both good and bad.
But you got to push her, and then because she'll talk about the refs all you want. She'll talk about the refs.
Yeah, no, her big whine ever against the Sparks, that call at the end. That was the WNBA title. I can see that. Okay, I can see being upset about that.
I think that's still stuck in her mind every time a WNBA official makes a bad call.
Their officials are awful, though.
This is. But really women's basketball, I say the biggest flaw in women's basketball is officiating. It's terrible because they don't pay them as much, so they get the second stringers. The first stringers aren't that good.
What's your Mount Rushmore of bad officials? WNBA, WWE is on there.
Oh no, WWE's number 1. What was that little chubby Marty Miller? Remember?
An old referee?
The old referee in the AWA, that was probably before.
The first referee I remember as a kid is.
Marty's problem was he'd get focused on whether the tag team partner was trying to get in the ring illegally, while they were hitting the other guy with a chair. Turn around, Marty.
It's amazing. The first referee I remember was Earl Hebner from the WWF in like the early 90s, late 80s.
Did he have the attention deficit disorder too?
He did. I mean, every time a manager would jump up on the ring apron, he had to spend a half hour trying to get that guy off. Meanwhile, there's chairs and brass knuckles.
They got the guy garroted up. They got him tied up to the lights. They're going to hang him. And the guys look at Marty saying, no, stay out of the ring.
It would be like if in an NFL game, if like if the main middle of the field umpire, the referee that stands in the middle of the field, if he turns over, the coordinator is yelling from the sidelines. Meanwhile, like jerseys being grabbed. And
Phil, the greatest sports innovation in history is the guy in the 1930s who came up with the tag team idea. Because there weren't, the historians tell you that it used to just be mano-mano and they wrestled for 30 minutes.
yeah,
And somebody said, wait a minute. If we put 4 guys in here and we can have one guy sneaking around doing nefarious stuff, it's gonna multiply the drama something fierce. And all the greatest matches basically are tag teams, right? I mean, not all of them. The Weasel Suit was Mano and Mano.
I think tag team wrestling for a while was amazing, and then Vince McMahon just got bored with it like 20 years ago. But yeah, like up until recently, tag team wrestling was all the rage.
The rope, you gotta hold on to the rope, but it is straight out there to tag him. The Marty Miller wouldn't have even been a good official in the WNBA. He's so bad.
He's so bad.
Hey, Reusse, but before we get done here, so I'm sitting on the couch watching TV last evening and my phone rings and I look and it's my friend Patrick Reusse.
Yeah.
Valley Sports North, as Patrick pointed out, had the Twins damn near going to the World Series before they faced off against the Yankees last night. Even for them, it was an impressive buy-in.
Oh, God, it was unbelievable. Dick told us, and I'm sure he was instructed at the start of the pregame, that while the season is probably not going to end up as happy a conclusion as we thought, they proved on the last homestand that they are indeed one of the best teams in baseball.
Oh my God! Are you serious?
God,
That's
dude.
what we expected them to be. It wasn't flat out that, but it was the phrase "one of the best teams in baseball" was used.
This is what happens when people talk about Miguel Sano too. I'm not going to name names, but it's
he's
like, oh, look at how great he's been for the last 12 games. It's like, well, but like, look at the last 4 years in his prime.
Yes, right. Yes, and also, I know he's got a new daughter, and so he's flying home and taking 3 games off. You can be back on Sunday. I mean, what can you do? You go in, you look at the kid, you go, coo, coo, coo. Oh, that kid's cute. Way to go, honey.
Exactly right.
When the plane come back, you're hitting 4th on Sunday. Let's go. Come on. I'll give you tomorrow. Today you fly in. Tomorrow you're sick of being around by Saturday anyway. All the kid's going to be doing is crying. The kid won't know if you're there or not. Get on the plane Saturday night, fly to New York, and be in the
And by the way, you took
3 days unnecessary.
You took the first like 4 months off, so you're finally hot, and now you're taking time off to go see the kid. I mean, the kid's gonna live, God willing, a long and prosperous life.
I think we need less parenting advice from Judd would be better here.
I'm not saying Declan, you're saying you too. I'm not saying that he shouldn't come and see the kid. That's fine. Friday, and now the kid probably comes home Saturday, right? You put him in the blanket, you do all that nonsense.
Put him in the blanket.
You come home. You got enough money. You got a nanny anyway, or relatives, right? She's not home alone. She doesn't want you to be around anyway. Get in the plane, fly to New York, hit 4th on Saturday. Let's go.
FaceTime for the kid, Pat. You can sit in your hotel room in New York
Show
and
me
say,
the kid.
somebody show
Is
me
the
the
kid
kid.
talking yet? No, probably
cute. And then bang, you go play.
Pat, am I going to see you in St. Paul tonight?
No, the hell with it. For a Buxton rehab.
And Joe Ryan.
I'm bored with Buxton rehabs in St. Paul. After tonight, since May 7th, Buxton will have played 4 games for the Saints and 3 for the Twins. This will be his 4th game. And I'm sure that let's hope he doesn't hit a triple and ruin his hip again. So,
Twins might have to reduce that offer from $80 million down to $60 again in the contract extension talks.
Unbelievable.
All right, Pat.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Ryan pitch, but not enough. I was over there once this week already. That's my legal limit. So,
well, we'll talk to you next week. Enjoy your weekend, and We'll expect a full breakdown of the Vikings' second preseason game from you on Monday.
And that is tomorrow night, right?
Yes, tomorrow evening.
Yes, sir.
Yes, like
All
7
right.
o'clock.
Well, go Vikes. Let's get downtown. Do a lot of drinking after the game. The bars and restaurants need you. So go ahead.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, let's
Mayor.
wrap in
The
with
mayor.
Reusse here on Mackey and
mayor.
Judd.